Japanese pay $30 for this root. Americans poison it daily. Why don't you know its real value? Right now, in Tokyo, a grandmother is walking into a grocery store. She picks up a long, dark brown root from the produce section. She examines it carefully. She pays the equivalent of $30 per pound for it. She takes it home. She slices it thin. She cooks it for her grandchildren. She has done this her entire life. Her mother did it. Her grandmother did it. For over 1,000 years, Japanese families have treasured this root as one of the most valuable vegetables in existence. At the same exact moment in Ohio, a man is walking through his backyard. He sees a plant with large leaves growing near his fence. He recognizes it as a weed. He gets his sprayer. He poisons it with Roundup. He kills it. He feels satisfied. The weed is gone. He has no idea that he just destroyed something worth more than the steak he will eat for dinner tonight. This is the same plant, the same root, the same vegetable. In one country, it is medicine, it is food, it is treasure. In another country, it is poison, it is garbage, it is enemy. This is the story of burdock, the root that Japan built a cuisine around, the root that Americans destroy on sight. And this is why you have never been told its real value. Let us begin with what burdock actually is. It is a biennial plant that grows wild across North America, Europe, and Asia. In its first year, it produces large, heart-shaped leaves close to the ground. In its second year, it sends up a tall stalk with purple flowers that turn into those sticky burrs that cling to your clothes and your dog's fur. In fact, those burrs inspired the invention of Velcro. A Swiss engineer studied how they attached and created one of the most useful fastening systems in history. But the real treasure is not the burrs. It is what lies beneath the soil. A long, slender, brown root that can grow 2 to 3 feet deep into the earth. In Japan, this root is called gobo. It is not exotic. It is not rare. It is everyday food. Japanese grocery stores stock it like Americans stock carrots. It appears in stir-fries, soups, salads, and rice dishes. A popular dish called kinpira gobo features burdock root sorted with carrots in soy sauce and sesame. Children eat it in school lunches. Hospitals serve it to recovering patients. Elderly people credit it for their longevity. The average Japanese person consumes several pounds of burdock root every year without thinking twice about it. But in America, that same root is classified as a noxious weed in multiple states. Farmers poison it. Homeowners eradicate it. Municipalities spray it along roadsides. Children are taught it is a nuisance because of the burrs. No one mentions that beneath every plant they kill lies a vegetable worth $30 per pound in Tokyo. The nutrition inside burdock root explains why Japan never forgot it. The root contains inulin, one of the most powerful prebiotic fibers ever tested. Prebiotics feed the beneficial bacteria in your gut. They strengthen your immune system. They improve digestion. They regulate blood sugar. Modern Americans spend billions on probiotic supplements while poisoning the prebiotic source growing free in their backyards. But inulin is only the beginning. Burdock root contains antioxidants that laboratory studies have shown to reduce inflammation throughout the body. It contains compounds that support liver function. Traditional medicine across Asia and Europe used it for skin conditions, blood purification, and respiratory health. The root also provides potassium, magnesium, manganese, phosphorus, calcium, and iron. All from something Americans pay money to destroy. The history of burdock stretches back further than most vegetables we cultivate today. Ancient Chinese texts from over 2,000 years ago describe its medicinal uses. Traditional Chinese medicine classified it as a blood purifier and a remedy for sore throats and skin conditions. From China, knowledge of burdock spread to Japan, where cooks discovered its culinary potential. The Japanese did not just use it as medicine. They made it delicious. They developed cooking techniques that transformed the earthy root into something families craved. When burdock reached Europe, herbalists embraced it. Medieval monks grew it in monastery gardens. Folk healers prescribed it across the continent. It became a standard remedy in European herbal traditions. Shakespeare mentioned it in his plays. Herbalists wrote extensively about its benefits. For centuries, Europeans understood that burdock was valuable. The plant arrived in North America with European settlers. At first, colonists used it as their ancestors had. They harvested the root for food and medicine. Early American herbalists included it in their remedies. It grew easily in American soil. It spread across the continent. It was useful. It was familiar. It was valued. And then something changed. As American agriculture industrialized, the definition of valuable shifted. Crops that could be planted in straight rows, harvested by machines, processed in factories, and shipped across continents became important. Everything else became a weed. Burdock could not be mechanically harvested. Its long root required hand digging. It could not be easily processed into shelf-stable products. It did not fit the industrial model. So it was reclassified, not as food, not as medicine, as a problem. The reclassification was economic, not botanical. Nothing about the plant changed. Its nutrition remained identical. Its taste remained the same. Its medicinal properties continued working. The only thing that changed was how Americans chose to see it. And that choice cost generations of Americans access to one of the most valuable vegetables on the planet. The erasure went beyond neglect. American agricultural authorities actively encouraged killing burdock. Extension services published guides on eradicating it. Herbicide companies marketed products specifically targeting it. The plant that had fed and healed humans for thousands of years became a target. Children grew up learning to hate it because of sticky burrs. No one taught them that the burrs protected a root worth treasuring. Meanwhile, in Japan, none of this happened. Japanese farmers continued cultivating burdock. Japanese cooks continued refining recipes. Japanese families continued eating it daily. The Japanese never forgot what Americans were programmed to destroy. The price difference tells the entire story. In Tokyo, high-quality gobo sells for $25 to $35 per pound. In America, the same plant gets sprayed with poison that costs $15 per bottle. Americans literally pay money to destroy what Japanese pay $30 per pound to eat. This is not a difference of taste or culture. This is a difference of knowledge. Japanese children grow up knowing gobo is food. American children grow up knowing burdock is a weed. Neither is told they are talking about the same plant. Neither is given the complete picture. One country profits from burdock, the other country poisons it. The plant does not care. It keeps growing. It keeps waiting for someone to remember its value. The practical reality of burdock makes its American status even more absurd. This plant grows without cultivation. It requires no watering once established. It needs no fertilizer. It tolerates poor soil. It survives harsh winters. It produces food year after year without any human effort. It is literally free food growing wild across the entire continent. And Americans spend time, money, and chemicals destroying it. Growing burdock intentionally is almost unnecessary because it grows so willingly on its own. But for those who want to cultivate it, the process is simple. Plant seeds in spring in loose soil. The roots grow best in deep, stone-free earth. Keep watered during the first season. Harvest roots in late fall of the first year or early spring of the second year before the plant sends up its flower stalk. Once it flowers, the root becomes woody and less palatable. But harvest it at the right time, and you have a vegetable worth $30 per pound from seeds that cost a few cents. Preparing burdock root is straightforward. Scrub the skin with a brush under running water. Some cooks peel it, but the skin contains nutrients. Slice it thin for stir fries. Cut it into matchsticks for salads. Dice it for soups. The flesh oxidizes quickly when exposed to air, turning brown like an apple. Soaking cut pieces in water with a splash of vinegar prevents this. The taste is earthy, slightly sweet, with a satisfying crunch when properly cooked. It absorbs flavors beautifully, making it perfect for sauces and seasonings. The classic Japanese preparation, kinpira gobo, takes 15 minutes. Slice burdock root and carrots into thin matchsticks. Sauté in sesame oil until slightly tender. Add soy sauce, mirin, and a touch of sugar. Cook until the liquid reduces and coats the vegetables. Finish with sesame seeds. This simple dish has been a staple of Japanese home cooking for centuries. It costs almost nothing to make in Japan. In America, the main ingredient grows free in backyards. Burdock root can also be roasted like parsnips. It can be added to stews where its earthy flavor deepens the broth. It can be pickled for a crunchy condiment. It can be dried and made into tea. The young leaves are edible before the plant matures. The stalks can be peeled and eaten like celery when harvested young. Almost every part of the plant provides food at some stage of its growth. The health benefits that Japanese people receive daily remain unavailable to most Americans. The prebiotic fiber supports gut health that Americans try to buy in supplement form. The antioxidants reduce inflammation that Americans medicate with pharmaceuticals. The blood sugar regulation helps with conditions that affect millions. All of this grows free. All of this gets poisoned. The loss is not just individual. It is cultural. It is economic. It is medical. America imports vegetables from around the world while destroying superior food that grows wild across the continent. Supermarkets stock produce shipped thousands of miles, while the most nutritious option grows in the parking lot cracks. The system makes money on the imports. Nobody profits when people harvest wild burdock, so nobody tells them it is valuable. But the plant does not need permission. It does not need marketing. It does not need a distributor. It keeps growing, in vacant lots, along fence lines, behind garages, in parks, along trails. Everywhere that soil exists, burdock waits. It has waited through decades of being poisoned. It will wait through more. It waited for thousands of years before humans discovered its value the first time. It can wait again. The knowledge is not lost. It is just suppressed. Japanese cookbooks contain generations of burdock recipes. Herbalism texts document its medicinal uses. Foraging guides identify it as a prime wild edible. The information exists for anyone willing to look. The root exists for anyone willing to dig. What takes effort is unlearning. Americans must unlearn that burdock is a weed. They must unlearn that wild plants are worthless. They must unlearn that food only comes from stores. They must unlearn decades of programming that taught them to destroy instead of harvest. The grandmother in Tokyo knows what the man in Ohio does not. She knows that the root in her hands is treasure. She knows that cooking it connects her to 1,000 years of ancestors who ate the same food. She knows that her grandchildren will grow strong because of this humble vegetable. She knows what Americans have forgotten. $30 per pound in Tokyo. Poison and destruction in Ohio. Same plant, Same root, same nutrition, different knowledge. Burdock root is not hiding. It is not rare. It is not extinct. It is growing right now, somewhere near where you live. It is waiting for someone to remember what their great-great-grandparents knew. It is waiting for someone to see past the burrs to the treasure beneath. It is waiting for you to stop poisoning it and start eating it. The root is in the ground. The knowledge is now in your mind. The only question is what you will do the next time you see that large-leafed plant growing where nobody planted it. Will you poison it like you were taught? Or will you dig up $30 worth of food that cost you nothing? The Japanese already know the answer. Now so do you. If this changed how you see the plants around you, subscribe to this channel, because this is just the beginning. There are dozens of valuable foods growing wild that you have been taught to destroy, and I am going to reveal all of them. Subscribe now, and I will see you in the next one.